and I had an opportunity to get my dream grand piano, a 6'1" Promberger. Don't get me started on that. That's a whole other story in itself. But there was one in a warehouse, and I was gonna buy like a cheap one for like $500 and do like I did with that upright. But then I saw my dream grand piano there, and I said, I'm gonna use this money, and I'm gonna come back a week later, and I sold a bunch of my old video games and a bunch of stuff just so I can get a good enough down payment so I can afford this grand piano. And I got into it, and I was like, all right, $200 a month, I can afford that. And I was like, oh crap, I'm in over my head. It's the pandemic, and I just emptied my savings account, and I was working 2 jobs at that time, at the lab and on the radio as a sound engineer, and I was like reading the news and all the COVID stuff, and I freaked the F out, and I was like, I gotta get a 3rd job. So I applied for a 3rd job, and on my way to that interview at a red light, I stopped, and a distracted driver didn't realize that the light had changed, and he totaled me, and I'm lucky to be alive. And I had just got my grand piano, and all of a sudden the doctors are telling me, you know, there's no way you're gonna be able to play the piano like you used to. It's a life-altering car accident. You'll be lucky just to recover the way you do. Just count your blessings. You're lucky to be alive, blah, blah, blah. And I proved them wrong. And during that recovery process, I had this little Tascam, and I would report to my acupuncturist and to my chiropractor, and I'd be like, I was able to play piano with one hand for 5 minutes today. And I was recovering like throughout the 2020 November and December. And those recordings eventually birthed when I launched on Patreon, and I made my first relaunch on the grand piano in the moment. And these are the recordings from November and December of 2020 when I was recovering. And ever since then, I was like, I can be doing this every single day. I can do daily piano. And now circa 2023, during the recovery process, because I was like, I can only play for so many minutes, I went back to my roots as an improvisationalist and just flowing with the ether. And then I had like this weird mental health stuff that happened, and you guys only met me now, and you guys don't know half of the story. But I talked to the ether, I talked to the fairies, I talked to the spirits. My dad beat me to death when I was freaking 7 years old. My mom, you know, like had to, oh gosh, like life be life. And after 3 near-death experiences, you see and hear things, and they try to medicate you. I fucking hear and see shit because I died 3 times and came back here. And that last time during the pandemic, I'm lucky to be alive. So every fucking day, every goddamn fucking day, I play my piano and I record it and I release, because tomorrow is not promised. You can find me on Patreon, The Daily Piano.